Welcome to another episode of Classic Car Secrets, where today we're going to talk about Wilwood brakes, a product that I use on my builds mostly, and that I truly believe in. It's a great product. I don't often say that, so here we go. If you're a classic car enthusiast working on a project or just dreaming of your next one, this content is for you. I have over 30 years experience buying, building, and wrenching on classic cars, including owning a large-scale muscle car shop for the last 20, where we've upgraded, restored, and built hundreds of 50s, 60s, and 70s muscle cars. I know every part, process, and problem you'll encounter because I've dealt with them all, and believe me, the problems are unending. This is why I created Classic Car Secrets, to help you save the time, money, and countless headaches of learning the hard way. I cover everything from Corvettes to Cougars, Mopars to Mustangs, to name a few. Click the link below to find out more. If you like classic car content, please click like and subscribe down below. Also, if you don't mind leaving some comments, it helps us understand what kind of content you like as well, okay? In terms of the product lines, Wilwood stuff is all made in America. They've been doing this for 44 years, if I'm not mistaken, as of 24. And their stuff is just quality. When I look into braking, that's one of the most important things in my mind, right? We're gonna make a car pretty, we're gonna make it fast. It better stop and it better be safe, because there are a lot of yahoos out there on the road, right? Including sometimes a loose nut behind the wheel, if you know what I mean. So this is an example of a 12.19-inch kit. This kit, what I love, when you compare this kit compared to some of the other kits, so this is a stock rotor off a first-gen Camaro. This was another disc brake kit that I salvaged apart because I didn't like it. So this same Camaro actually is upgrading to this. This is a 12.19-inch, which fits behind almost every 15-inch wheel. So a lot of times you can't get this fancy of a brake. You have to go something tiny to fit back there. Wilwood has their stuff tight and it fits. So in this particular example, on this particular setup here, most guys are gonna run what we just call a 4-piston caliper. This 12.19-inch rotor diameter often goes with a 4-piston caliper. For 150 bucks more, you can upgrade to a 6-piston, right? Obviously, we understand 1, 2, 3, 4 pistons gives us better caliper bite, pad grab, more even braking, better stopping power. The other reason we like the larger brakes, anytime we can get a little bit larger, it's a combination of larger rotor for cooling and braking surface, and also pad mounting surface, right? So the more squish we can get, the more squeeze, the better stopping power, the safer we are. Another thing about the Wilwood brakes, to me, a lot of the cars, like this 12.19-inch is fine. We can go 13, we can go 14. They actually do a 15-inch rotor, which is sick as can be. When we get into something like that, we get into these nasty 6-piston calipers. They're huge. I mean, look at the size difference on all of these. That's got a 6-piston combo in there. And do you need it? I say no. They're almost overkill, but don't quote me, because A, they stop like crazy, but B, aesthetics are half the game, right? So if your car's at a car show and you're running 18s or 20s and you got a wicked pro-trim car, if you got a sick truck, you better have sick brakes. Otherwise, it's not that sick. Did I mention that the Wilwood brakes are a little lighter than a stock brake? Another thing that's really cool about what Wilwood's done is they make calipers that will bolt right on to your stock setup. So this again is an early Chevy. This is a Camaro or a Chevelle. Traditional 11-inch stock brake. You can kind of see the 12.19 here that I was talking about before. So a little bit bigger, still fits on the same application. But if you already have stock brakes, disc brakes, and you just want to make them a little bit better, consider a Wilwood caliper. They're a dual piston design, which is going to give you better pad seat, better pad wear, more surface area. They look better. They're brand new, right? Also, they've done a great job because they make these for Corvettes, bolt-on combo for front and rear. They do, this is called a D-52 caliper for the Chevys. They do a D-54, which is a slightly different metric design. They do a rear. Also, if you've got like an early Mustang with a factory Kelsey-Hayes disc brake, you can switch up to their, rotor to match. So they're phenomenal setups. Get rid of this huge ugly thing here. Talk a little bit more about kind of the Wilwood product line. So when you're ordering their brakes, you can see that most of their calipers are going to say Wilwood. These ones here that I have today are all in black, but they do traditionally a gloss black or they do a competition red. That's a very common color that you can get from almost any supplier. But also they do about 20 different color combinations. They do polished, they do purple, they do blues, they can do a lot of different colors. If you do that, you special order, and what they'll do is they'll build your calipers powder coated. You can choose the color and style of the Wilwood in a few different design patterns, so we'll put a link here for that as well. So they're pretty awesome and flexible in terms of fit, style, finish. They're an awesome setup in my mind. So far we've been talking really about front brakes in terms of the Wilwood product line, but honestly, the rear brake is really what I like the most. So most of my personal cars are stick shifts, and so when you have a 5-speed, 4-speed, whatever, you need a really good e-brake, right? I grew up in San Francisco. You want to stop the car, put it in gear, set that e-brake so the car doesn't go rolling away. Wilwood has a phenomenal e-brake technology. So this obviously is a front setup, but should this be a rear setup, you would find that it's actually got a drum brake inside the back. So when you set the brake, it's actually got an emergency brake drum, and the caliper does its squeezing. Some of these kits you see in the aftermarket try to use like a lever function to try to squeeze the pads in. I've never had great luck with them, and I wouldn't trust my car with it. So check out the Wilwood line of rear products in terms of brakes. They also do an electric e-brake that is just a little clamp-on puck that you can add should you have a system that actually has no e-brake whatsoever. So Wilwood doesn't just make brakes, they make kind of everything that you can imagine to go with it. For example, if you're going to buy their brakes, why not add their master cylinder? It's got a ton of capacity, aluminum body. This is what they call a dual tandem aluminum reservoir. Easy line exit on either side, depending how you want to do it. Just cap one side and use the other. They come with a spacer for in here. Some guys are familiar with the deep bore versus shallow bore master cylinder design. And they also come in a lot of different sizes, including, as I said, the deep bore. So they go as small as 3/4 inch up to about 1 1/8 inches. So if you're trying to move a lot of volume, you're going to go with the bigger bore. If you're trying to get pressure on a basic system, you're going to go with a small bore. In addition to just making master cylinders and brakes, they do their whole line of e-brake cables, brake lines and fittings, flexible hoses, certainly everything you would need to do an install. If you're into the performance side of the game, they make a lot of racing applications. We've used them on our dragsters. If you really are going to be hitting the track or being aggressive in use, they do a ton of different friction compounds for their pads. They have a whole what they call a BP series running from like 10 to 40, which progressively get firmer and stop harder. They also do some quiet series, they call it Q series, polymatrix setup that is great for the street, that doesn't make a lot of dust, not super noisy. They do some polycarbon setups. I mean, they just have a lot of products. So when you get a chance, click below, like and subscribe, leave a comment if you have something to say. Check out the links below. We've got some suppliers, some products that fit most of your applications that we're talking about, and then also you'll see a link to the Wilwood site so you can follow up on some of their tech info should you need to. So one of the reasons I like Wilwood brakes is the breadth of product line that they have. They're incredible. They make kits for all of our traditional muscle cars, like Camaro, Chevy, Corvette, Mustang, you name it. Also Porsche 911s, classic cars in that realm, and then newer cars too. So if you've got an SUV, if you've got a badass pickup truck, new or old, they make kits kind of for all of that stuff. Also, you'd be surprised, they do motorcycles, Polaris, all kinds of ATVs, UTVs. They're also doing all kinds of stuff for commercial applications, some for the OE. I mean, they just really get the job done. They're sure good enough for me, and I'm pretty picky with my builds. So Wilwood is the way to fly. We've got other brands on the market, right? We've got Bear in the muscle car line. We've got Stop Tech, some other awesome products out there. SSBC, if you've heard of them. All of these are good companies. I just think Wilwood nailed it in terms of quality, fitment, options. Hopefully that's given you a little bit of insight in terms of the Wilwood braking systems and the braking products line. If you like this type of content, please click like and subscribe down below, and follow us for other informational tutorials to teach you about products that we know that work, give you some insider tips, just all kind of things hot rod, right? So classic car secrets, get it? We're going to teach you some secrets about classic cars. Thank you.